don't have a whole lot of time, but I did want to come on here and just talk to the community, address some things that came to my attention this morning with regards to energetic hygiene. Let's just call it that, right? We had an incredible live session yesterday, very powerful messages that came through for sure. I was also talking about the current energy and how electric and potentially challenging it can be, as we do have a lot of energy directed with Mars and Chiron, kind of triggering our wounds. Hi, Darren. No, it's okay. This is what I want to talk about. So I'm glad that you're here. I'm glad that you're here. No pointing fingers. Hi, Jess. Okay. Yeah. Really, this is quick and short because I do have to leave in about 20 minutes or so. But I wanted to connect to everybody before so, because I did have that post, and I realized that it may have seemed a little bit too aggressive, and I apologize for that. I don't mean to be like the mama bear. We all have our own unique journey, and as I was talking about the energy yesterday, there's Mars squaring Chiron very, very intensely, as well as the Venus aspects. She's still coming out of the underworld, the feminine energy. Mars energy is frustrating and can be impulsive. And so I really wanted to just touch base on all of us here in the community and how we can navigate even through some of the challenging times, because we're all sensitive. We're all empaths. We are all psychic even. So when certain energies arise, and I truly believe that everything has its purpose and there are no coincidences or accidents, but we can be mindful of those who may be vulnerable and extra sensitive. And on the flip side, if anybody here is feeling triggered by another or vulnerable or sensitive, to speak up and say something. I feel like we have a community close enough that we can really truly be honest with each other and be straightforward. Like, hey, that's not cool. I don't, that's not feeling good for me, type of thing. So Darren, I got a little frustrated today, but I solved it and I'm kind of laughing now. Might be a nervous laugh. Yeah, I have that nervous laugh a lot of times too. It's all good. Truly. We're all in this together. We really, truly are. And so with that knowing that we're all in this together and we are evolving, we are growing, we are changing, and we are swimming through some really intense and extreme energies that do serve a purpose for our highest growth, to get us out of a mindset that we're in some sort of prison planet, to empower ourselves and to be united and connected with one another, because that is the sweet spot. That is how we are going to really rise up above all of the other all the other dynamics that are playing out on the planet. Is that more and more, each and every one of us has our own unique journey, yes, but when we are collectively together, that we can be open and honest and vulnerable with one another without concern that there's going to be any kind of even if it's jokingly. And I know I do this too, and some of us do carry that trickster energy without fully being aware of it. But just understand, when you get an impulsive hit to like say something and maybe it is not for the best interest of somebody else, to just maybe practice the pause, because I don't want anybody to leave this community feeling like they are not seen or heard or understood. I feel that we are all, I feel that we are all here together for a very unique purpose, and it is extremely helpful when we can trust our intuition, trust our instincts, but also be mindful, especially, but always, but especially when the energies are extremely at an all-time high. So not placing blame or pointing the finger at anyone. And thank you, Darren, for taking accountability for potentially putting that trigger out there. I do it too. We all do to some degrees, and I really don't feel that it was intentional. But again, we just want to be mindful of each other's space and where we're at. Jess, Paige, if you have to drive anywhere when you leave, please be careful. People on the roads are bonkers today. Oh, thank you. Good to know, because I do have to leave in about 20 minutes. So I will be extra careful when I do. Yeah, I can feel that energy out there. I haven't left my house yet today, but I can feel that busy bee, like in a beehive, just sort of culminating. And so thank you. Darren, Paige, I'll be honest, I've been sitting in the same place for so long that when I think I'm getting out of fear takes over. And that is, honestly, that's very natural. That's very natural for each and every one of us. And it is part of the process. And no, and we do project our fear outwardly in our own unique way as well. And it's felt. So to be more honest and open like that is definitely much more, it is received much easier than passive aggressive or jokes, because again, everybody here feels the energy. It's not the words. We can read words all we want, but when we feel the energy coming from another, and again, I can't speak for anybody else and their experience, because I was in the readings. I had no idea really what was going on. I still don't fully, but I just know I felt like a triggering energy coming on, not intentionally, and wanted to put it out there again that, we are all doing this together and you're not alone and there's nothing to fear. Facing our fears is a big part of the journey and a big part of the current energy that we're experiencing as well. I haven't been projecting at all anymore. Good. Jess, it's never intentional. Sometimes we do just have that connection, brother, sister love, and that we don't realize. Yes, again, no apologies necessary. Truly, I don't want to place blame out to anybody. I feel like, again, everything happens for a purpose, and just to put it out there that let's just all remember that we are all brother, sister, and connected. And sometimes brothers and sisters will hit on each other's nerves. I know, I come from a big family, but and it just comes down to practicing the pause when we are in a state of just a lot of energy and what comes out. And that's a lesson in itself too, of how we affect each other. It's not just how we are affected by others, it's how we affect others as well. And that's been a big lesson of mine as well, throughout my entire journey, just to be mindful of my energy and what comes out of me. So again, it's all good, and I love you guys so much. This community is so important, and I know it's important excuse me, not just to me but to all of you. And regardless where we are headed in the future, we know that we can always come back here and connect, and it's okay to vent. It's totally okay to vent about your own experiences. It's just when we place something onto another, especially I feel like the triggering comes when other people's names are sort of called out in some form of way. Not to say that we can't talk to one another in the chat. Again, I don't want to be too restrictive or militant. I just want to, it really, I think we all understand just to be mindful of each other's energy, especially when we're in a very heightened state of energetics. Hi, Dewey. Oh, thank you. Jess, this tribe is very important to Amy and I, and we love it here. We love you. Yes, and I think there's so much love here, which is beautiful, beautiful. And uh, I, I don't feel that there's been anything done wrong. I just want to say that again. I don't feel that anything was done wrong. I just feel that it was at least a little tap on my shoulder to say, let's just keep this going as far as awareness of each other's energy and be respectful of that. But on the flip side, to not be too rigid. We do want to be lighthearted when it calls for it. We also have people that are going through tremendous traumatic release, and to be mindful of that as well. And yeah, I know, I get it. And maybe here's the other thing is unsolicited advice. You know, I've learned the hard way through my journey of when we want to help somebody, but it comes off as unsolicited advice. And that is not ever helpful for anybody on their journey, because we all learn it in our own unique way. And I know you didn't mean it. I really do. I know that you didn't mean it. So, and again, it goes back to what's done to one is done to the whole, and it always comes back to us anyway. Whenever we do even unconsciously project something out, it comes back to reflect to us or show us that, oh, and that's a pattern, right? It's a pattern that might not be helpful. Libra energy, relationships, how we relate to one another, how we connect to one another. This is a beautiful time for us to really strengthen our connections with each other, and instead of you know, pouring salt in the wounds of each other. And not, again, not saying that that happens, but it's definitely been an eye-opener for me as far as how humans really relate. You know, how we relate to one another is a direct reflection to our first relationships while we were born, when we were born here, which would be our family, our parents, and we carry a lot of that with us until we get to a point where we see those patterns and we are able to make the decision. I don't want to carry this traditional behavior or pattern along with me. God, I spent a good chunk of my life being completely passive aggressive and sarcastic. And then I realized that was not doing me any favors. It certainly was not strengthening or deepening any of my relationships with others. So, and yeah, I know Darren grew up in a tough family. I totally get that. I know. Jess, I do have a habit of doing that. Sometimes giving advice is not warranted. We just have that in us. We want to care and help others. I know. And it's not that, like, it, if somebody's asking for it, then, you know, we can give our 2 cents, what worked for us or what we understand on our journey. But I think that's more triggering than anything for people that are trying to figure out their own path and their own dynamics in their mind, is when somebody else jumps in there and gives unsolicited advice. I know that for me, it just rolls off my back because I know I follow discernment so much. But then again, sometimes that advice sticks and it comes back to my awareness when I'm having an experience and I'm like, oh, that actually was helpful. But I was not ready to receive it at that time because I was not asking for it. Do you know what I mean? So I totally get it. I totally get it, and I think that we all do, and we're there's no such thing as perfection. We're not perfect. There's another shadow end of Libra, is like needing to be perfect, especially when it comes to relating to others. And it is important that we be ourselves, but that we also know ourselves, and what version of us are we demonstrating or showing to others, you know? But there's just so much love here, and I just wanted to come on quickly and let you guys all know there's nobody did anything wrong or bad. There was just this big waft of energy, and I think it was Martin who pointed out in the chat, but we didn't really see it, that the cards, the readings that were coming through was actually playing out in the chat as the reading was coming through. And he was just like, wow, whoa. And I had to go back and watch the reading this morning. And I saw, I got it. I understood. I'm like, wow, that's such, like, talk about instant manifestation, right? So, and that's how my readings have been lately. They are just like, this is happening. And even when I've done readings for myself, I pull a couple cards and it doesn't make any sense to me. It actually is, they're actually telling me what is about to happen in the dynamics of whatever I'm involved in, whether it's going live here or whether it's, I'm wherever I am. And it's like a heads up, which is always nice. But sometimes I'm just like, I don't know what I don't know what you mean. And that's why I don't really do readings for myself. But there have been times like yesterday morning where I just felt so much energy. I'm like, can you help me here? Tell me what this is. And speaking of readings, I have to leave soon to go give a personal reading for somebody, another new light worker, star seed, that is coming into the path. And so many more people are really coming out of the woodworks, and it's beautiful. Looking for tribe, finding tribe. So I hope that she also joins us here on YouTube after I meet with her, to just add to the collective that we have going on, because I spoke with her on the phone and she sounds like she's really in alignment with where we are here. You always give me a heads up. Thank you. I don't always get it. Recently I've been looking back, and you know what? It's usually in that hindsight or that reflection that we get it. A lot of times I've just been honed in on this journey so deeply for so long that I pick up everything really quickly. Not to say I'm perfect. I miss things too. I feel like sometimes the energetics are meant to kind of blow over me again, and then have an experience, and then put two and two together. That's sort of part of the journey, is connecting dots or putting the puzzle pieces together. And I remember in the beginning of my journey, I would just yell at the guides. I said, I don't like puzzles. I never liked puzzles. And now I know why. But it's all good. It really is. There's no hard feelings as far as I'm aware of. I think that it's all energetic and that we just feel each other. So, and I'm learning this in other communities that I'm involved in also, that when somebody is putting on a specific way of being, but we can all feel the underlying undertone of the true energy, it's not comfortable. So let's all just be really raw and open and real, because we can feel it even though we're not in person together. This is energetic. We feel each other, we sense each other. And it's important to know that the ego is getting a big smackdown for all of us, our protector, to really really asking us to drop those boundaries and facades when you're in a safe space and a safe place like this. And we do want to keep this a safe place for all to be vulnerable, to be transparent, to be real and raw and open. And of course, we can have fun too, of course. But again, remembering, and sometimes we don't even realize that we have that ego going because we're so used to it. We think it's just us. I know this from so many years of this experience, and I'm like, oh, I thought that was me, but that actually is a part of me. It's a part of me that comes on and acts a certain way to protect myself from the very vulnerable space that's actually going on inside that I wasn't even aware of. And usually that's when the universe will send somebody or something in to trigger that wound. And we end up placing blame outside of ourselves to the other person. So again, as somebody who unconsciously or does not intentionally triggers people, I've had to learn that the hard way. So I didn't take things so personally, but I was also extremely mindful of how I'm placing myself, my words, my energy, my actions, and how that affects others, as well as myself, how others affect me. So it's how we learn. We learn that way. So I just wanted to come on and say all that to all of you. And also, thank you to all the moderators who really do help keep this a safe space and keep all of the infiltrative energies that are always trying to come in, keep them away and keep them at bay and keep everything nice and clean and loving and copacetic, because we need that, especially now more than ever. We need more love. We need to really come together and be here for one another, for truly, truly. So yeah, that's all I have to say. Thank you, Darren. Thank you, everybody that's on here, and hopefully everybody else in the community that isn't on here is able to come and just view and just know it's all good. Everything's good. And going forward, we're just going to really be aware of each other's space and energy. And it's really hard for me when I'm in the readings. I'm not here. I want to put that out there for you guys to understand. I have to take the back seat when I'm reading. So I am not able to engage or even be aware of what's going on, which is why moderators are so important. But also, if something comes up through the readings, it is a direct message from source, from the guides, from the angels, from the star systems that I channel from. And they're always with love. There's never anything that comes through that is directed to point anybody out or place harm. But sometimes messages can hit sore spots too. And that's the maturity that we're going into and moving into, more spiritual maturity of understanding that it all comes from a loving place and that there is never anything right or wrong. We're just trying to help each other grow and evolve. Yep. So everybody, yes, everybody have love to you all, says Jess. Thank you for coming on today. Even though it was quick, have a wonderful weekend. Yes, everybody have a wonderful weekend. Beautiful weekend. Try and enjoy this full moon that we're having. Venus going direct. There's a lot of newness that is opening up for us all, and I'm excited about it. So sending you guys all so much love. Take care. Bye.